Good evening everybody, I am the Sarcastic Barman and welcome to my channel. And well, I've gone and done it, haven't I? I've had to go back to it. Oh dear. They say opposites attract, and that's obviously why I've been drawn back to Orphan Red's stupidity. So she has a new video, a new live stream. Proofs on why the earth is flat. Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? So as always, we're going to do this on the fly, in between drinks, having a laugh, going through it and dealing with customers. It's always fun. So yeah, let's have a look what the crazy lady has to offer today then, shall we?
Hello everyone! Happy Easter! I'm so glad that you're still here.
Well, I'm sure you're glad some people are still here, but are you happy to see me again, Orphan? Probably not. And what the fuck are you wearing? Considering you came into my live chat and said I'm poorly dressed. Fuck my life. You look like a fucking Disney princess reject. Oh, Christ alight. Anyway, enough on how you're dressed. But yeah, let's keep going.
First of all, it really does take two people to do the whole corseting thing. Trying to do it one-handed, I did because there's no one here to help me.
Fun suggestion then. Don't wear the fucking corset. Wear something that's comfy and you can feel relaxed in. I mean, you're not trying to alter your appearance to attract other viewers to your channel based on certain aspects of your body rather than what's coming out of your mouth, are you? I showed my wife what you were wearing for this video. She can't decide if it's some shitty Ann Summers knockoff crap or a bin bag with ribbons.
So I did have to do it myself in the end, but oh my goodness, the impossibility of the challenges of being a content creator.
Now, if I were you, my biggest concern as a content creator wouldn't be what the fuck I'm wearing. As you can tell half the time with what me and my hair and how I look. I don't care how I look. I think the most important thing is going to be what you're saying. Hence why many content creators on here don't even show their face. It's just a animated picture. Maybe you could take some of that time and that you spend getting dressed to do some research and realise why you're a fucking moron. And oh God, is that going to be the first laugh of many, 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 many today?
So, we're going to take a little sip of water.
Yes, water. And then science, maybe. To science. Oh, God, a bit full.
Rick Rolled, hi. Are there any people that we need to get rid of in chat? Are there any trolls in there that need to be sorted out? Please do let me know, and then I'll just remove them very quickly. Because we don't want people who are very disruptive in our chat.
Don't want any trolls or disruptive people in chat? I mean, that'd be horrible. Going in someone's live chat and spewing a load of horrible insults and things, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it?
I want to talk about the flat earth proofs, that the reasons why I believe that we have to reject the globe earth model.
Right, the game for these videos is going to be as follows. Every time she says flat earth proof, you have a shot. Oh, fuck. Every time she says a flat earth proof that's a lie, you have another shot. And every time she does a flat earth proof that she just doesn't understand and does a stupid little laugh at it because she doesn't understand it, have another shot. There's going to be probably 3 parts to this video, thank fuck. Because otherwise I see dead people. I do also want to reiterate, always drink in moderation, know your limits. Make the shot really small if you need to, or have a sip of your beer. Or if you're underage, don't drink. Yeah, let's get back to the live stream.
Private companies launch rockets that orbit a spherical Earth. You're so funny.
Yeah, private companies do launch rockets that orbit the spherical Earth. What's worse, you can't prove they don't. So, yeah.
Because we do know that on a flat plane, you can you know, I don't want to get struck by copyright for showing other people's content, so you'll have to look it up yourself. But
Or you just don't understand how copyright, fair use, and all that crap works. Hence the copyright strike against me. But yeah, so you could show a picture of a launch and have it down as here's the credit for it, blah de blah de blah. And yes, you might lose some advertising money from it depending on what content you're using it in. As you're using it as a reference, you probably wouldn't. But yeah, let's keep going with your lack of understanding. Ah, crap. Ah, crap. I can't remember what we said on for cooking up, so we'll take that as a shot. Have fun.
If you do have like a super cooled... Sorry, I'm very distracted, so I'm having a hard time finding my words for this. But there are ways to set up magnetic systems so that you have, I guess, like a kind of like a Laplacian place, but points in which you can levitate objects, right?
Right, luckily I can decode you're stupid enough to realise you're going on about the magnetic levitation type toy things, as shown in one of these sides. I can't decide which side it's going to go on. But there we have a magnetic fucking levitating globe. But if you're trying to say that they use the same sort of principle of magnets and shit to levitate things like the ISS, spaceships and satellites into orbit and keep them there, then I think we're going to fucking need one of these, aren't we? Because, yeah, you're a... Oh. Let's keep going.
Depending on what kind of fields you're inducing, and if you're using superconductors, or if you're using, like, I guess, oh, you guys...
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid! God, it's like you just use words you hear randomly to try and sound smarter!
Yeah, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, you're stupid. But anyway, do you know what satellites are mostly made out of? Aluminium. Do you know one of the funny things about aluminium? It's generally not magnetic. You would have to do a humongous magnetic field to keep that buoyant in the air, in orbit and all that shite. I think we might notice on other electronic devices if there was a hugely powerful magnetic field keeping that shit in orbit. And if you're going to say it's some kind of other waves, then I think we need to repeat the last clip. Oh, crap. Speaking of... Oh, excuse me. Let's go.
I didn't want to go right into technical because I don't want to be all boring right from the get-go. So,
Technically boring from the get-go, then stop talking about your fucking clothes. No one cares. Oh, I think you have no idea what you're fucking talking about. Hence the laugh you made earlier. You start spouting this rubbish and laugh and look away from the camera because you don't fucking understand what the fuck you're going on about. Now, let's try and do a bit of a fast-forward skipping and try and get to something with more than 2/3 of a brain cell. Will be nice.
Because at the end of the day, you can't prove that Elon Musk is creating propaganda or Elon Musk is not creating propaganda. Because all you can do is state your opinion about it. And you can provide circumstantial evidence interpreted to data. Oh, I think this image is CGI and here's why. And I don't think it's CGI because I don't think it's CGI.
Yeah, so we had a bit of a skip and this bit seemed interesting. So Elon Musk, yeah, you can't prove it's propaganda. And yeah, you can't prove it's propaganda. You can't prove it's CGI because it's not CGI. But yeah, if they could prove any of that stuff properly, then you go, ooh, yeah, maybe something about space is fake, but you can't. So you just ignore it and go, no, these aren't real images from space. That wasn't real spaceship that went into space. Whatever. You just, oh, God. So, because it's more stupidness. Continue.
For the people who reject the globe Earth model to know that now we can say, when people say, oh, only, only people with challenges believe in the flat earth theory. We can say, no, actually Mensa members who have an IQ in the top 1% also reject the globe earth model because it's the intelligent thing to do.
Jesus Christ, you still flogging that dead Mensa horse. Nobody cares. Move on. As many people have talked about, even if you've got the high IQ, you can still be a fucking moron.
Yes, I'm in Mensa. Yes, I'm highly intelligent. But no, I don't feel the need to wear glasses and have straight down hair and wear some kind of science-y t-shirt with the I fucking love science logo from the Facebook group. And I don't feel the need to wear, I don't know, the kind of smart girl uniform and have the smart girl mannerisms. And
what people wear doesn't have a reflection on whether they're a smart girl or a dumb girl or what. Regardless of what you wear, I would still call you a moron based on what comes out of your mouth. The fact that you seem to equate the glasses, the straight hair, the being able to talk eloquently and all that shit. No. That's not how the real world works. It might be how it works on your planet. But here on Earth, where it's round, it fucking doesn't. It doesn't matter. Can we get to some science now? We're, 15 minutes into your side of the video? I think about 10 minutes into my cuttings and faffings, but fucking hell.
Civicel Champion says, that's the point, the same tired questions to distract. Exactly. That's the thing. You try to talk about flat earth proofs, you try to talk about new flat earth ideas, and the trolls just keep derailing you and asking you the same old thing that we've already talked about, that's already resolved.
It's not to derail you, really, is it? It's because you and all other flat earthers never actually give proper, concrete, solid answers. It's all this, that, and the other. And then people say, well, it's not this, it's not that, and it definitely can't be the other. And like, but it is, because I said it is. And anyway, flat earth proof. Oh. Next.
And so I do want to first do a video about how quantum computers are supposed to work, and then we can talk about why they don't and why they can't, and why we should never trust someone that says, here is the answer that the artificial intelligence told us, and that's the right answer, right?
Well, depending on the question, will depend on whether you should take the answer for granted or not. If you ask the computer what 2 plus 2 is, I think it's probably going to give you the right fucking answer. As for quantum computing, how it works and then why it can't work like that even though they work, that seems like a bit of a stupid fucking subject, to be fair. Quantum computing, great subject. Why they don't work even though they say they do, no, because otherwise there wouldn't be fucking quantum computing, would there? I think you're just going to bollocks that up, because part of quantum computing reflects on how the molecules, the atoms, the particles and all that shit moves, and then doesn't reflect on your world view. So if one part is wrong, then the other part must be wrong too. One
of the ways we know, one of the ways that science has become scientism, right? This blind faith religion that's rigid, that rejects heretics. So if you come up with a theory that goes against what the mainstream ideology is in scientism, you're really pushed out. Halton Arp pushed out, Unzicker pushed out. All these physicists who try to challenge the mainstream rigid ideas in scientism are pushed out. They're not published, or they're
Well, fuck me. Scientism, and more fucking scientism. Fuck the glass. Fucking hell. Right. Anyway, Helton Arcs, unfortunately I couldn't find who he was, so I can't say anything about that. Andrew Unzicker, published author, fair play. He's got a couple of books on Amazon. General consensus is mixed on them, so yeah. He's not really a physicist. He got his diploma in physics for being able to teach. He got his PhD in neuroscience. Fuck, couldn't even remember that. Fucking rum. Yeah, got his PhD in neuroscience. And just basically thinks the Higgs boson particle and things like that was all a big fake. Physics is getting too complicated. So he's not really pushed out because you can find shit from him. The general consensus is that he's wrong until he can provide something more mathematically concrete on why these other scientists are wrong and he's right. People aren't really going to take him seriously. His papers are getting published and read. They're just not getting any sort of notification because people think he's wrong and they've gone through them and there's nothing true or provable in them. So, yeah, he's not a particle physicist or anything like that to have the full knowledge of how this stuff works. So, anyway, moving on.
They speak at a conference and nobody goes to their speech. Nobody asks questions. Everyone just ridicules them or mocks them, or worse yet, they just ignore. If you publish a paper in science and no one responds to it, no one reviews it, no one builds on it, it's like it never even existed.
Now, not really going to argue there. If you release a paper in science and no one reads it, yeah, it's like it basically didn't exist. Now, the thing is, Alexander Zucker has released papers, has talked about things, has had people cite him, has been cited by others. So, yeah, it's not as if he doesn't exist. But I think we can take the level of his scientificness at this. Now, if you go to researchgate.net or something like that, I'll leave the link in the description below. There's a lovely little bit where someone's talking about Higgs bosons and stuff like that. Now, you'd expect any normal scientist would link a paper or a proper scientific research document. This is his answer. Questions are LIGO dissections just noir. Regarding your Higgs criticture, you might be interested in, and it's a link to his book. Not a scientific paper, free to read or anything like that. It's a link to Amazon with his book to sell. So, yeah. Do we think maybe his focus has maybe shifted from scientific knowledge to, oh, I'll just post links to my books in places, shall we? Maybe this is why he's not being listened to at conferences.
Right? If no one cites it. It's just into the oubliette of science history. And that's a very powerful way that the scientists have of silencing dissent, because they won't even argue with you to say why they think you're wrong. They just ignore you completely.
Except he has been cited by other scientists. He has cited other scientists in his papers. So he's being talked about, just probably not in a good way, because maybe his ideas aren't correct. Is he taking this on board? I don't know. His last paper was about 2012, I think it finished its publication on it. So yeah, he's not released anything since, but he's released some books. So yeah. Moving on. Apologising from the cuts on some of these, because Orphan does her normal thing of talks about something interesting like this, does a stupid little laugh, then talks crap. And then, yeah, so let's keep going.
And that's a terrible, terrible thing that scientism does. The first group that showed that the diameter of the proton was wrong by, I think it was orders of magnitude. Like, I think it was 100 times the actual size was 100 times greater than the size that was accepted as truth, as fact by scientism, right? The first group, they were mocked and ridiculed, they were put down, and they were kind of then ignored because people said, oh, you must have done it wrong. You tried using new instruments and clearly you don't know what you're doing, so we're just going to ignore you.
Not sure what's going on with the proton. Had a quick look. Proton's 0.87683 phenometers. Phenometers really fucking small. That was the rough accepted size for it, done with 2 independent variables. In 2010, there was another experiment that made it 5% smaller. So I'm not sure where she gets the magnitude of 100 from. Not something I can say I've heard from. If anyone knows, leave me a link in the comments below, because that sounds quite interesting. Yeah.
And so they keep finding observations that baffle astronomers, that don't fit the theories. That's why we have dark energy and dark matter making up 97.5% of the universe, I think, is made up of invisible, undetectable matter and energy that we've never seen, that we've never interacted with, that we can't detect.
You talked this crap like the week before this or 2 weeks before this. I thought you might have read something by this point. So yeah, Neptune, didn't know it was there, couldn't see it at the time, couldn't interact with it, mathematically predicted, and hey look, a fucking planet. Ugh.
We can only see shadows of its effects on other things that may or may not actually be effects of dark matter or dark energy. It could just be that the theory of gravity is wrong, among other things. So to me, I think that astronomy is a good entry point to showing the absurdities in the scientism that's replaced science, and the problems in the standard globe Earth model. Okay, what are you guys saying?
We're saying several things. 1, you're fucking crazy. 2, you said scientism, so that means we have to have a shot. 3, as far as we know, the theory of gravity isn't wrong. Things might change, we might discover new things, but for you to say it's wrong means, well, fucking nothing. Christ alight. Finally got this video done. It's taken all weekend, mainly because it was fucking busy. So we're now going to edit this, post this, send it all to you lovely people on YouTube. You get to like it, comment it, and then I get to test out my new program, and we'll have a look at that. So don't forget, like, share, subscribe, comment down below. I am the Sarcastic Barman, and we'll see you again, hopefully Friday. Good night.